This is a story about my daughter, Kate, and how she developed an eating disorder. Kate had always been happy and outgoing. We had never had a moment's trouble from her. Kate always loved her birthday, but as she approached 16, her mother and I noticed that she wasn't excited about it. She spent most evenings in her room. Kate was always a hard worker, and because she was in 5th year, we put it down to that. Until we got the call from her school. Her guidance counsellor told us Kate seemed withdrawn, pale, tired, and looked unwell. We found out that Kate had stopped having lunch with her friends and didn't hang out with them, and that her boyfriend had broken up with her. We were shocked. Kate told us everything was fine, and that the breakup had been upsetting, but studying was a good distraction. When we mentioned her weight loss and that she wasn't eating lunch, she told us not to be silly. She was just being healthy. Her mother got upset and said she wanted Kate to go to the GP. Kate agreed, but I knew she wasn't keen on it. The GP appointment went okay. Kate's weight was down, but she wasn't underweight and her bloods were fine. I was relieved. Kate promised to eat more and to not work so hard. Her mother was still worried, but I told her if the GP was really concerned, she'd have told us. The following weeks were stressful. Kate's mother was watching everything. Every dinner there was a row. One evening I came home to shouting and screaming, and Kate had locked herself in her room. Her mother had accidentally walked in on Kate and saw how much weight she had lost. We planned another trip to the GP. The GP was concerned. Kate was now unwell and said she may be developing an eating disorder. She made a referral to the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, CAMHS. That was a big shock. I went into full-on fix-it dad mode. I would make sure Kate ate everything put in front of her. There was going to be no messing. She was sick and I knew how to make her better. None of this silly diet stuff. The assessment with CAMHS couldn't have come quick enough. We met with the psychiatrist and a psychologist. The questions on the forms made me think that the problem wasn't just about food, but Kate's thoughts. CAMHS came up with a treatment plan. But it wasn't that simple. Kate was either fighting with us or frightened, not knowing what to do, needing us to do everything for her. I realised I needed to understand what was going on because I was finding things harder and harder. I called Bodywhys and talked about what was happening. Myself and her mother did the Pillar program. It was such a relief to meet other parents who all had their own kids. I learned a hard lesson at this point. I couldn't fix this problem. Another dad at the Pillar program told us that Kate didn't ask for this and we didn't cause this. It was true. Kate's eating disorder wasn't just about eating. It was her way of coping with feelings that she struggled with. So, if I just focused on her eating, I was missing the point. But at the same time, food was a very important part of Kate getting better. So myself and her mother were walking a tightrope. Even though she wanted to get better, Kate still found it difficult to eat. I found this frustrating and hard to understand. I began to think about Kate and not the eating disorder, and find a way to help her fight it. Slowly, Kate got used to eating again and started feeling better. Little by little, she started to be more like herself, feeling better in school and started hanging out with her friends. I can see now that Kate getting better was not just about eating. Eating normally again was part of the picture, but she also had to figure out how to cope with difficult feelings, be more resilient, make mistakes and not always be perfect. All in all, how to be okay in herself.